A brief history to magazines is a very large topic. Magazines have gone through many phases throughout humanity and have evolved from the mid 1700s until today.
A vast majority of historians theorize that media has three developmental stages. According to Mass Media in the Changing World, Rodman states the elite stage is the phase of media evolution in which only the richest and best educated members of the population make use of a particular medium. The second stage is known as the popular stage. A mass audience consumes this phase of a particular medium. The final section is known as the specialized stage in media development. This medium breaks into subcategories for members of an audience with various specialized interests. Historians have observed magazines as displaying this type of evolution more noticeably than other media types.
The world's first magazine was published in January of the year 1731 in London, England. The magazine was called The Gentleman's Magazine. Over time, the magazine had various subtitles, including Monthly Intelligencer and Historical Review. The series started anew in 1834 and again in 1868, but due to lack of volume numbering, the magazine became somewhat inconsistent and ceased publication in 1907. Benjamin Franklin was the first to conceive the idea of publishing a magazine in the American colonies, only to come short of publication by 3 days to Andrew Bradford's American Magazine, or Monthly View of the Political State of the British Colonies, published in Boston. Franklin's publication, issued in Philadelphia, was called the General Magazine, an historical chronicle for all the British plantations in America.
Women's magazines of the 19th century, writer Lee Joloffe claimed that women's magazines were part of a growing trend in nationalism and a pride in things American, especially things that reflected a cultured America. Women's magazines gained substantial momentum by expanding services in 1885 when the Federal Post Office lowered postage for second class mailing. By 1893, a color printing process was successfully used in the United States, allowing magazines to expand their demographic. Publishers searched for new techniques to market women's magazines, and another successful aspect of this was the expansion of specialized magazines. In 1837, Battle Axe and Weapons of War was introduced to religious groups of women. The Farmer's Wife was targeted directly at farmers, and the Ladies' Gazette was a musical magazine. Other publications gave women another angle to voice their opinions about equal rights. In the 1860s and 70s, the Graduate Woman and the Women's Tribune came out in support of women's suffrage.
There are many types of magazines that are made to target different kinds of audiences and clientele. According to Curtis, the first kind of magazines are made for what is called consumer. They are created to attract young adults, housewives, sports lovers, fashionable women, and many more. There are other magazines called trade and professionals. This is made to target customers and people who are interested in business, marketing, trades, and world industries. And last but not least, they have magazines that are called house organ, known as in-house publications, and they publish for nonprofit and nonprofit organizations.
Truth and accuracy is not a model that magazines usually follow. According to Ford, truth-telling is a huge problem among journalists. Magazines don't always publish the entire story or accurate facts. Gathering and being able to identify and back up your source and information is fundamental to many journalism professionals. Unfortunately, not all journalists follow that rule. Accuracy and reliability was not their main priority at the time. They cared publicly and productively. Because of reinforcements and laws nowadays, magazines and any source of media try to provide the best, most reliable information. Magazines are and always will be an important aspect in mass media. They have evolved from small periodicals to massively owned corporate publications. Publishers are challenged with the ever-changing development of internet technology and therefore faced with implementing new ideas and designs to maintain their consumer base.